11,700 years ago, our planet was experiencing the most profound transformation in the entire history of humankind. The last great ice age was drawing to a close. Massive ice sheets stretching for kilometers in thickness, which had covered vast areas of Europe and North America, started to melt. Billions upon billions of tons of water then surged relentlessly into the world's oceans.
But this was not a smooth, easy, or straightforward process at all.
Agassiz, North America.
A gigantic reservoir of meltwater held captive by a massive glacial dam. When that dam finally burst, in just a few short days, a volume of water equal to all the Great Lakes combined flowed into the ocean. The global ocean's water level has increased by a full meter within a single week. Now, just try to picture what if this kind of event didn't exclusively occur in America.
The Mediterranean, the end of the Ice Age. Alpine glaciers are melting and enormous masses of water are seeking their path to the ocean. What if a natural dam formed near Gibraltar for a short time? Water accumulates, the Mediterranean Sea overflows, pressure builds, water from the overflowing Mediterranean Sea begins to seek an outlet, finding it in the most unexpected place.
The northern part of Africa.
There are ancient valleys here through which mighty rivers once flowed all the way to the ocean. Tamanrasset in particular was the largest and most prominent of them all. Just 12,000 years ago, this entire region was a lush, green savanna, with grasses reaching to your waist, acacia trees and vast herds of antelope roaming freely. And Tamanrasset itself was a truly enormous river, carrying its life-giving waters across the entire continent, all the way to the distant Atlantic Ocean. People live here, along these banks. They fish, they hunt, they build their homes. Perhaps they even create something much more significant. Just an ordinary day, an ordinary life unfolding. But then, from the north, a powerful, unstoppable current arrives. Water from the Mediterranean Sea surged violently through the valleys. Dozens of meters high, moving at the incredible speed of a tsunami, this catastrophic torrent sweeps away absolutely everything in its path. Entire settlements, people, animals, uprooting massive trees and tearing away the very top layer of soil. And this enormous mass of water, along with millions of tons of earth, debris and sediment, then crashes down into the vast Atlantic Ocean. If a civilization truly did exist here, if cities once stood in Richat or along the Tamanrasset River's banks, then they must have been utterly wiped away. This is a hypothesis, a very bold hypothesis indeed. We don't know for certain, of course, if this dam actually existed in the Mediterranean, but the dating does coincide perfectly. The very end of the last ice age, roughly 11 to 12,000 years ago.
And if this particular theory holds true, then the very things that we are seeking could have been scattered across truly immense distances. Artifacts, fragments, and the remnants of a lost civilization. They could be found lying anywhere.
In the ancient mouth of Tamanrasset, on the continental shelf and within the deep underwater canyons, we need to search to meticulously explore section by section every single part of it, and we are beginning our search in the most logical place possible, precisely where that great river once flowed directly into the vast ocean. At a depth of 15 to 20 meters, 100 kilometers off the coast of Mauritania, in a place where a coastline once existed. But first, you'll need to make the swim to reach it. Sal Island, Cape Verde, is a group of 9 volcanic islands situated 400 kilometers off the African coast. You know what's amazing? These islands are active. The last eruption of Fugu volcano was just 11 years ago, in 2014. The same magma that has been rising here for 1 million years continues to emerge beneath our feet even today. We visited the Blue Eye, a sinkhole in an ancient lava tunnel filled with ocean water.
Tourists come here to take photographs, but we perceive something quite different in it. Dmitry, he looks at these rock formations and he sees history. Volcanic islands don't just appear out of nowhere. They are the traces of deep processes of mantle plumes rising from the Earth's very interior.
It's clearly visible here that this island, Sal Island, is of volcanic origin, and its geological structure is composed of alternating layers of magma, which long ago erupted from a now absent volcano. These small volcanic cones, which are currently present here in limited numbers, are secondary formations. I do not believe that they were the ones responsible for erupting this lava. Instead, that original volcano has long since degraded and eroded away, leveling with the surrounding plain and ultimately forming the entire landmass of this truly magnificent island. The thickness of each individual layer is approximately 1 meter, and we understand that these eruptions were quite frequent at one time. Right now, there are no eruptions visible on these small peaks, Sagi. I generally assume these are ancient layers, thousands of years old, pushed up from deep within the island, and they're already quite fragmented, appearing simply as cones. I doubt it has any connection to an active volcano or to those Atlanteans that we are searching for in this place. This marks the very first day of our expedition.
The same processes that could have created the Richat structure's rings, the same geology, the same region. And here's what's interesting. 11,000 years ago, the ocean level was 120 meters lower. These islands were larger, much larger, and the distance to Africa, to green, flourishing Africa, was considerably shorter. If people lived on the continent, why wouldn't they live here?
So, Grace, could you tell us what the Portuguese say about the earliest people who might have lived in this region?
Yeah, here normally I have a lot of story here in Cape Verde. One is first Portuguese been here in Cape Verde. Discovery first Boa Vista Island in 1416. So a lot of people say, but this is a Portuguese colony. Portuguese says been here first, but I don't know. Before Portuguese, maybe been here not African people here, but a lot of people say this is Portuguese been here first. Why I'm saying this is Portuguese been here.
Monte Leste. The thing is, you see, when you approach this mountain, it looks almost like a pyramid. Two smooth slopes, two perfect geometry. Of course, it's a volcano, we know that. Erosion, symmetrical lava cooling, all explained by geology. But when you are here, when you witness the sun setting behind this very peak, you begin to truly grasp why ancient civilizations selected such sites for their sacred sanctuaries. They didn't construct their pyramids without a profound reason. They were searching for places of immense power, locations where the very earth itself ascends towards the heavens. During Africa's wet period, the Sahara Desert was a lush savanna. Life also thrived in this region, but then the climate underwent a significant change. The Sahara Desert dried up in a mere 1500 years, a surprisingly short span of time. The rivers vanished, people either departed or simply didn't have the chance to get away. These islands endured the very same fate, desertification, and then complete oblivion. But the stones themselves remained, and perhaps not only the stones, but something else as well.
Ну, значит, плита просверленная.
On the eastern coast of Sal Island, salt is actively harvested. This island was named specifically in honor of salt. The salt pans are situated within the crater of an ancient volcano, which has gradually transformed into a large saline lake. 42 degrees Celsius, a truly dazzling, almost blinding white expanse. For countless centuries, salt has been meticulously extracted here, with large pure crystals carefully cut directly from the very surface. The water slowly evaporates, leaving behind nothing but pure, pristine salt. And right in the very heart of this island, there's a unique place known as the Fata Morgana Mirage. In that particular spot, the air itself profoundly distorts reality. You perceive things that simply aren't actually there. You know, medieval navigators sometimes charted islands on their maps that no one else could ever find again. These were phantom lands. Historians often explain this phenomenon as either navigation errors or simply mirages. But what if these were actually real islands, those that eventually sank beneath the ocean's surface? Over the past 12,000 years, the ocean has risen by 120 meters. However, this rise was not a smooth, continuous process. There were distinct periods of catastrophically rapid ascent occurring when massive glacial dams would suddenly burst and vast ancient ice sheets would dramatically collapse.
The lake's level rose by a full meter in just 1 week. If our hypothesis is indeed correct, if a massive flow from the Mediterranean Sea truly passed through the Sahara Desert, how much water did it actually deliver to the ocean? In how many days? Entire archipelagos could have gone completely underwater within the lifetime of a single generation. The coastlines receded by hundreds of kilometers, islands turned into shoals, and those shoals became deep waters. And that is precisely why we are here. We are attempting to reconstruct exactly where the coastline ran back then, some 11,500 years ago prior to the Great Catastrophe. Look at these little babies. Lemon sharks are born right here in these very shallow lagoons, barely half a meter deep, just 100 meters from the coastline. It's warm and very safe here. This is where they grow up, hiding from bigger adult predators. The local fishermen show them to us, even hand-feeding them. But if you look just a little bit further, over there, do you see them? Their parents are 2-meter sharks and they are not quite as friendly anymore. Lemon sharks rarely attack people, but rarely doesn't mean never. This is their home, this is their ocean. This ocean has existed for billions of years. It saw life emerge, the first creatures come ashore, and civilizations rise and fall. 12,000 years ago, a massive wave swept through this very place, washing away an entire epoch, perhaps even a whole civilization. But the ocean remembers everything. It holds on to every secret, every memory. And tomorrow we will begin our search for all that it has hidden deep within its vast, dark depths.
We will board the catamaran and set sail for the Mauritanian shelf, but not until tomorrow, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We are not going to assume that the Atlanteans themselves or any of their colonies lived on Sal Island and the other Cape Verde Islands. But why not put this hypothesis to the test?